Good afternoon, everyone. Today, we all have gathered here to talk about the Invoice Management System that was introduced by GSTN last year. The IMS system has brought with itself a major change with regard to tax matching and filing more efficient for the tax teams across India. It has also made the tax teams have better access to their suppliers and to understand that where are the actual mismatches happening in the invoices, right? Now in 2025, as we see that the IMS is already streamlining a lot of operational functionalities of the tax teams, so much so that government is also understanding that and thinking of making it a mandate for all. As early adopters, it's a great tool for you to not just use it as a compliance tool, but also to understand that it can actually bring a structural shift in your business and make and help you understand the early mismatches and claim maximum ITC. Eventually, that's the goal for all of us, right? But the problem with IMS is that there's a lot of hiccups and a lot of initial operational challenges that are being faced by the tax teams across industries. And to solve that only, today we have with us CA Ajay Gupta and CA Sarthak Jain, who will be taking up the real world challenges that are being faced while using the IMS. And not just that, but we'll also be introducing to you the actual solutions that can be taken up by the tax teams. Also, the fact that how to use the IMS as a strategic tool for yourself as a tax professional. So, without further ado, I would like to hand over the platform to CA Ajay Gupta, who will be walking you through brief about the IMS workflow, and post that would be taking up the actual challenges and the solutions accordingly. Thank you.
So hello everyone, am I audible? So good afternoon everyone. Thanks for joining the webinar on IMS, a system that changing how to manage input tax credit under GST. So I am Ajay Gupta. I will be take you to go through from the brief introduction of IMS, the practical challenges faced by the finance and taxation team, and how GST robo solutions make this transition smoother for you. So we will keep this webinar interactive. So feel free to drop a question in the chat box. We will take this at the end. So let's discuss the agenda of today's webinar. First is I will give you the quick IMS description, brief description about IMS, what IMS rollout means for your tax and finance team, what are the key challenges faced by the team to manage the IMS, what are the practical solutions are available to navigate the IMS, and how GST Robo helps in this. So firstly, the basic flow of IMS is first, supplier have to upload the invoice on the GST portal, whether it was from e-invoicing or manual process. Second, as the supplier upload the invoices on the GST portal, it will reflect to the recipient on their IMS dashboard. After that, recipient can take the action on those invoices, whether it is accept, reject, no action pending. If recipient see the invoice is eligible, there is no error, so he can mark the accept on that invoices. And if you think that the invoice is not eligible for taking the input tax credit, then he can mark the reject. Or if recipient think that invoice is not eligible to right now, that अब आप अभी इस टाइम पे क्रेडिट नहीं लेना चाहते, आप डिले करना चाहते हो, तो आप पेंडिंग मार्क कर सकते हो एंड आप नो एक्शन भी छोड़ सकते हो किसी इनवॉइस का, बट नो एक्शन एज अ एक्सेप्टेड ट्रीट होता है आईएमएस के अंदर। तो जितने भी आप एक्शंस लोगे इनवॉइसेस के अंदर बिफोर जनरेशन ऑफ टू बी मीन्स बिफोर 14th, जो भी आप एक्शंस लोगे इनवॉइसेस के ऊपर, वो सारे अकॉर्डिंगली उससे हमारी टू बी जनरेट होगी उन एक्शंस के बेसिस पे। एक्सेप्ट और नो एक्शन वाले डीम्ड एक्सेप्टेड वाले इनवॉइसेस आपके टू बी का पार्ट बनेंगे और रिजेक्ट और पेंडिंग आपके टू बी का पार्ट नहीं बनेंगे। और अगर आप कोई भी एक्शंस आफ्टर 14th लेते हो तो आपको एक कंपलसरी रिकम्प्यूट करनी पड़ेगी आपकी जीएसटी या टू बी, जो भी आप एक्शंस लोगे जीएसटी आफ्टर 14th। अकॉर्डिंगली आपकी टू बी दोबारा से रिकम्प्यूट होगी और जनरेट होगी। अकॉर्डिंगली यू विल टेक द क्रेडिट इन योर जीएसटीआर 3। And one more thing, RCM, there is a limitation in IMS that RCM invoices, ISD invoices, and import related invoices are not make the part of the IMS. Now I will discuss the changes. What is what IMS आने से पहले क्या चेंज था और IMS आने के बाद क्या चेंजेस हुए रिकंसिलिएशन के टाइम पे। तो पहले जैसे था कि जीएसटीआर टू भी हमारी ऑटो जनरेट होती थी, जो भी सप्लायर अपलोड करता था अपनी रिटर्न में जीएसटीआर वन के जीएसटीआर वन में, उसके हिसाब से हमारी जीएसटीआर टू भी जनरेट होती थी। बट अब क्या है, अब हमें एक्शंस लेने पड़ते हैं, हमारे एक्शंस के बेसिस पे जीएसटीआर टू भी जनरेट होती है, ना कि उन सारे इन्वॉइसेस पे जो भी सारे सप्लायर अपलोड कर रहा है। अब पहले कोई भी एक्शन हम ले नहीं सकते थे बिफोर लॉन्चिंग ऑफ आईएमएस, बट अब आपके हैंड में पावर है कि आप एक्शन ले सकते हो बिफोर जनरेशन ऑफ टू बी, वेदर इट इज एक्सेप्ट रिजेक्ट पेंडिंग। एंड अगर कोई भी एरर था पहले, अगर कोई भी एरर मिलता था वो मुझे जीएसटी रिटर्न के सप्लायर जब अपनी जीएसटी रिटर्न फाइल कर देता था, R1 फाइल कर देता था, उसके बाद मुझे कोई एरर मिलता था और तब मैं जाके अपना कोऑर्डिनेशन शुरू करता था सप्लायर के साथ, और वो फिर वो उस मिस्टेक को अगली जीएसटीआर वन के अंदर उसको ठीक करता था। बट अब क्या है, आईएमएस आने के बाद आप रियल टाइम बेसिस पे एरर को कैच कर सकते हो, एक्शंस ले सकते हो, एंड अकॉर्डिंगली ऑन टाइमली बेसिस बिफोर द रिटर्न फाइलिंग आपका सप्लायर उस एरर को, मिस्टेक को ठीक कर देगा और जीएसटीआर टू बी के अंदर ठीक इनवॉइस प्रोसेस होके आपको टू बी में शो होगा। एंड वेंडर फॉलोअप्स पहले बिल्कुल भी नहीं थे, टू बी रिकंसिलिएशन के बाद ही वेंडर फॉलोअप शुरू होते थे। तो अब आप जैसे टाइमली आईएमएस कर रहे हो, टाइमली टू बी से पहले एक्शंस ले रहे हो, तो वेंडर कम्युनिकेशन भी आपका टू बी जनरेशन से पहले ही शुरू हो जाता है। Now the next is, what are the real challenges faced by the tax and finance team during reconciliation? So first challenge is basically the two reconciliation have to run as RCM invoices, import related invoices, input service distribution invoices are not becoming the part of the IMS. तो पहले लोगों को क्या करना पड़ रहा है, अपने जो नॉर्मल रेगुलर इन्वॉइसेज है उनकी रिकंसिलिएशन करनी पड़ रही है बिफोर 14th और आफ्टर 14th, एंड आरसीएम इनपुट सर्विस डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इनवॉइसेज और इंपोर्ट रिलेटेड इनवॉइसेज की अलग से रिकंसिलिएशन बनती है। तो एक ये मेजर चैलेंज है, अगर ये तीनों पार्ट भी इंक्लूड हो जाते हैं हमारे आईएमएस के अंदर तो वन टाइम रिकंसिलिएशन करनी पड़ती है। सेकंड, रिजेक्ट एंड पेंडिंग। अगर आप गलती से कोई इन्वॉइसेस पे, किसी भी इन्वॉइस पे रिजेक्ट एक्शन मार्क कर देते हो या फिर पेंडिंग एक्शन मार्क कर देते हो तो इट विल नॉट बिकम पार्ट ऑफ द जीएसटीआर टू बी एंड अल्टीमेटली इट विल, आपका आईटीसी लॉस हो जाएगा उससे। तो बेसिकली रिजेक्शन और पेंडिंग को, एक्शन को ध्यान में रखते, हमें ध्यान करते हुए रखना है कि रिजेक्शन का जो भी एक्शन लो और पेंडिंग का लो, उसको थोड़ा सा सोच समझ के लेना है, बिकॉज क्योंकि वो आपका आईटीसी लॉस होने वाला है सीधा सीधा। और एक और लिमिटेशन है हमारी कि जो भी, अगर सप्लायर ने आपको पहले एक इनवॉइस भेजा और उसके अगेंस्ट में फिर वो आपको क्रेडिट नोट भेज रहा है, तो उस क्रेडिट नोट को आप सोच रहे हो कि यार अभी मैं पेंडिंग मार्क कर देता हूँ, उस पर कंफ्यूजन है मेरे को कि वो क्रेडिट नोट मेरे को अभी एक्सेप्ट करना है या रिजेक्ट करना है, तो पेंडिंग का ऑप्शन अभी गवर्नमेंट ने आपको नहीं दिया है। यू हैव टू एक्सेप्ट और यू हैव टू रिजेक्ट। अगर आप नो एक्शन छोड़ोगे तो वो अल्टीमेटली एक्सेप्ट माना जाएगा क्रेडिट नोट। सेकेंड इज, अगर वो वन मोर थिंग, अगर वो क्रेडिट आपने एक्सेप्ट मार्क कर दिया तो वो अल्टीमेटली आपकी रिसीव सप्लायर्स की लाइबिलिटी को भी इंक्रीज करता है क्रेडिट नोट जो आपने एक्सेप्ट किया है। फोर्थ इज नो पार्शियल एक्सेप्टेंस ऑप्शन, मीन्स ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट ऑप्शन एक फ्लो है रेगुलरली जो लोग प्रैक्टिस फॉलो कर रहे हैं पार्शियल एक्सेप्टेंस का। there are many peoples in the industry who are taking the input tax credit on the basis of payment, on the basis of service completion. So they are not fully booked the ITC at first time. They booked पार्शियली आईटीसी एंड देन फिर वो धीरे धीरे करके आईटीसी क्लेम करते हैं। तो ये ऑप्शन हमारे पास आईएमएस के अंदर अवेलेबल नहीं है। आईएमएस के अंदर या तो आपको फुल इनवॉइस एक्सेप्ट करना पड़ेगा, फुल इनवॉइस रिजेक्ट करना पड़ेगा, अगर पार्शियल है आप नहीं कर सकते। एंड ग्रेटर डिपेंडेंसी ऑन वेंडर एक्यूरेसी, यस, वेंडर एक्यूरेसी काफ़ी ज़्यादा बढ़ गई है, क्योंकि वेंडर अगर कोई भी गलती करता है और आपने कोई भी गलती से एक्शन ले दिया तो सीधा सीधा आईटीसी लॉस हो जाएगा। एंड नो रिवर्सल फंक्शनैलिटी, जैसे थ्री बी के अंदर परमानेंट और टेम्परेरी रिवर्सल बनता है, तो वो फंक्शनैलिटी अभी नहीं है। आप एक्सेप्ट रिजेक्ट पेंडिंग कोई भी एक्शन लेते हो तो उसके बेसिस पे वो ऐसा परमानेंट और टेम्परेरी रिवर्सल नहीं बनता। तो बेसिकली अगर आपका कोई इनएलिजिबल भी इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट है, कोई इनवॉइस है इनएलिजिबल है और आप उसको रिजेक्शन मार्क कर रहे हो, तो वो आपका परमानेंट वाली टेबल में नहीं जाएगा, परमानेंट रिवर्सल वाली टेबल में नहीं जाएगा, 17.5 का पार्ट नहीं बनेगा। तो ये थोड़ा सा एक है लिमिटेशन कह लो आईएमएस की, चैलेंज। थर्ड इज हाउ शुड टीम्स अडॉप्ट टू आईएमएस इन 2025। तो क्या क्या चीज़ें हमें करनी चाहिए आईएमएस को जब हम फॉलो कर रहे हैं। तो फर्स्ट इज डोंट रिलाई ऑन सिंगल रिकन्सिलिएशन, जैसे कि मैंने पहले बताया, आरसीएम आईएसडी इंपोर्ट रिलेटेड जो इन्वॉइसेस होते हैं वो आईएमएस का पार्ट नहीं है, तो उनको मिस मत करना। अगर आप आईएमएस के साथ रिकन्सिलिएशन कर रहे हो तो सिर्फ उस पर अगर रिलाय करोगे तो आपके ये इनवॉइसेस की रिकन्सिलिएशन रह जाएगी। तो आपको दो रिकन्सिलिएशन जरूर करनी है, एक नॉर्मल रेगुलर इनवॉइसेस की एंड एक आरसीएम इंपोर्ट एंड आईएसडी इनवॉइसेस की। सेकंड, क्रिएट अ वेंडर कोऑर्डिनेशन लूप। एक वेंडर कोऑर्डिनेशन एक लूप बनाने की बहुत ही ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है। एक एसओपी, हमें एक एसओपी क्रिएट करना चाहिए अपने वेंडर कम्युनिकेशन के लिए कि क्या क्या हमें एरर्स आपको भेजने हैं, क्या शेड्यूलर भेजना है हमें रेगुलरली वेंडर्स के साथ। अगर कोई जैसी इनवॉइस हमें लगता है कि मिसमैच है, उसको किस तरीके से कम्युनिकेट करना है, उसकी क्या टाइमलाइन होनी चाहिए, कितने टाइम में वो इनवॉइस करेक्ट होना चाहिए, क्या हमें पेमेंट वेंडर की ब्लॉक करनी चाहिए नहीं करनी चाहिए अगर वो जब तक इनवॉइस ठीक नहीं करता। थर्डली, सेटअप मंथली आईएमएस कैलेंडर। अब डेली डेली तो हम आईएमएस की रिकंसिलिएशन इज नॉट पॉसिबल कि हम डेली डेली और भी बहुत सारे काम होते हैं, तो इसलिए बेसिकली अब कैलेंडर एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम स्लॉट बुक करा जाए जिसमें आप पर्टिकुलर टाइम पीरियड में आईएमएस के इनवॉइसेस पे एक्शन लो। एंड डबल चेक बिफोर यू रिजेक्ट, यस। सो रिजेक्शन जो है ना, बेसिकली रिजेक्ट इनवॉइसेस आपके टू बी का बिल्कुल पार्ट नहीं बनते। और प्लीज़ बी श्योर कि जो भी आप इनवॉइस रिजेक्ट कर रहे हो तो सोच समझ के करो कि वरना अगर आपने बाई चांस ऐसा इनवॉइस रिजेक्ट कर दिया जो कि आपको क्लेम करना था, तो वो सीधा सीधा आपका आईटीसी लॉस हो जाएगा, फिर आप अपना एक्शन 3B फाइल करने के बाद रिवर्ट नहीं कर पाओगे। सो now I'm handing over to the Sarthak, who will tell you the how GST Robo helps in IMS. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ajay, for the great introduction on IMS and its real-time challenges, which the users are facing in the market since October 2024 when IMS was launched. So I'll be sharing with you some of the solutions that GST Robo has to offer to you to tackle those challenges, real-time challenges, and how to manage your compliances and how to prepare your ITC automatically, which you have to file in your GSTR 3B Table 4. Some of the invoices like ISD invoices, imports invoices, and even the past period invoices are not available in the IMS because they have been a part of your 2B reconciliation, or the invoices which have become the part of your GST or 2B earlier but not booked into your books of accounts, and then the claim of such ITC is pending from your side till now, and now you want to claim such ITC. So for those things, you have to run the 2B reconciliation, and it becomes mandatory to run the IMS reconciliation as well as 2B reconciliation. So what we have done is we have integrated both the reconciliations on our GST Robo platform. So by integration, I mean whatever the invoices are available in your IMS reconciliation, and you take the action as accepted or leave it as no action, and it becomes part of your GSTR 2B. So then it becomes obviously part of your GSTR 2B RECO as well. So now the data flows from the IMS reconciliation to 2B reconciliation for the same invoices. So what we have done is we have particularly synced the invoice actions which you have taken in your IMS reconciliation and those actions will be visible on your GST or 2B reconciliation as well, so that you do not have to work on the two reconciliation for the same invoices separately. So it basically reduces your time and effort whenever you will be running both the reconciliations, so that you only have to look upon only those invoices on which you have to work in the 2B reconciliation only, such as B2B RCM invoices or the import invoices or the past period invoices. So, whenever you will be taking any actions in the GST Robo on the IMS invoices, we'll sync those actions on the GST Robo platform in the 2B reconciliation on a real-time basis, and then you can only take action on those invoices in the IMS itself. So that your ITC, which gets prepared according to the two reconciliations, and the combined ITC, which we auto-populate in your table 4 of GSTR 3B, it becomes accurately matched with your GSTR 2B plus some past period invoices which you want to claim. Then comes the audit trail and compliance checks. So we give you the complete history of the actions which you take against each and every invoices. So we have maintained a log on our backend and provide you such history of actions. So basically, you'll get to know which user took which action on the invoices, on which date and time, and what was the remark provided by you. So just to quote you an example, like how this audit trail and compliance checks will help you in managing your IMS actions. Now let's suppose you are having multiple users who are running the IMS reconciliation or the 2B reconciliation, you can say. Sorry. And some user by mistake marks such some invoices as pending, and it do not become part of your GSTR 2B, and then you suffer the working capital loss for that particular month. So this process will lead to payment of output tax liability even when you are having an eligible input to claim. So to manage those mistakes and to rectify those in future, we'll give you the complete audit history against each and every invoice. So you'll get to know which user has marked that particular invoice as pending and why he has marked, if he has provided any remark for that, and which date and time. So you'll have the complete, mechanism to track each and every invoice, even at the time of closing your books of accounts, or you can say even at the end of the month when you are reconciling your data for the whole month. Then comes the comprehensive MIS reports. So as I said that we have integrated reconciliations, we have audit trail and compliance checks. So whatever actions you are taking on the invoices in IMS reconciliation and then in the 2B reconciliation, we have built up various MS reports for your usage, which will give you the complete tracking of your actions in the IMS and the 2B reconciliation, and it will give you the complete invoice-wise details. Even when the ITC gets prepared in your IMS reconciliation and the 2B reconciliation, the final ITC which gets prepared for the auto population into table 4 of GSCR 3B. So we have given one data source report as well. So in that data source report, you'll see the in section wise sheets in the Excel, wherein will give you the invoice wise details as to how many invoices have been flowed to the particular section of table 4. So if there are 100 rupees of input in table 4A5, so we'll give you the complete breakup of those 100 rupees, like which invoice relates to that particular 100 rupees and through which reconciliation that invoice is coming from in your GSTR 3B, so that you can just quickly finalize your ITC before sitting on the due date, and then you can file your GSTR 3B on time. As I said, because we have our integrated reconciliation and various IMS reports, so we have simplified your ITC preparation. So we prepare your ITC related to your imports and B2B RCM or past period invoices through 2B reconciliation. And then we prepare the ITC of B2B and CDN through the IMS reconciliation if you are using such IMS functionality. So your final ITC, it is prepared automatically. You'll not have to intervene manually or look into it manually. Once you upload your invoices in the on the GST Robo and reconcile your invoices, so we'll prepare your ITC according to your actions taken. So it becomes the automated process, and we'll auto populate those figures in the GSTR 3B table 4. So it becomes very simplified process for you. Then comes like the vendor collaboration, which is the most important part, which the users in demand. So basically, since you have a mismatch in the IMS, so we'll give you the segregation of each and every mismatch. So if there are invoices, you can say if there are 100 invoices, So GST Robo platform will give you complete breaking of those 100 invoices which are having mismatches and the reason of mismatch as well. So if there are any tax amount mismatch or invoice date mismatch, so we'll segregate those invoices for you, and then you can communicate with your vendor directly through GST Robo. So we have the vendor communication module with us. So you can directly email your vendors the missing and the mismatch reports. So missing the invoices which are available in your books of accounts but not in your IMS. So the that means supplier has not uploaded that particular invoice in his GSTR1 yet. So you can just simply mail them the complete report, which will include the match, mismatch, and missing invoices, or just the mismatch and missing invoices, which will automatically help you to collaborate with your vendor on real time basis and get your invoices rectified before filing your GSTR 3B and even the generation date of GSTR 2B, which is 14th of every month. So these are some solutions that GST Robo has to offer to you, which will help you to mitigate those challenges which are coming in the transition phase of IMS. Because as we all know that government is trying every possible way to hard lock the values in GSTR 3B. So once the hard locking comes for the table 4 of GSTR 3B, so IMS reconciliation will be somewhat mandatory for you, because the whatever values we will auto populate they will auto populate in your GSTR 2B, you'll be able to claim only that value. So IMS reconciliation will then become mandatory for you, and then the GST Robo solutions will obviously help you to manage your compliances and prepare your final ITC. So before we proceed with showcasing the GST Robo platform, so I would like to give you the practical examples as well and practical view of the GST Robo platform, wherein the solutions which I am talking about, which we have to offer in our GST Robo. So I'll give you the practical view of that. So just before we proceed with showcasing the GST Robo platform, I would like to know if you have any questions till now, what we explained to you.
So, we would really welcome any questions that you have up till now with regard to the invoice management system challenges. Just type it down in the chat section below, and we'll be taking it up one by one. One of the questions that has come in, Sarthak, is, sir, IMS is available in Robo after 14 only?
No, no, sir. That is not the case. IMS, since IMS is a real-time activity, you can perform the IMS reconciliation uh, when and when possible. So it is a real-time activity. We have our IMS reconciliation live on our software. So you can run the IMS reconciliation when needed. So it can be before 14th or after 14th, any which way you want to follow.
Any other questions that you would like to ask before we move on to the demo part? So again, we have a reply from the attendee saying, no, sir, today also I can't see the purchase data.
So basically, you have to run the IMS reconciliation. So whatever records are available on the government platform, we'll get those documents for you on the GST Robo platform. Regarding your purchase data, once you upload your purchase, like the books of accounts, you will be uploading that on our GST Robo platform, whether through the APIs or the bulk Excel upload. Then we'll reconcile those documents with the IMS invoices. So that is the process that you'll have to follow.
I hope we catered to your query, the Daso Patel. Please do let us know if you have any further queries, or anyone else is welcome to ask their questions. before we move on to the GST Robo dashboard. Thank you, Sarthak, for taking up a detailed view of our GST Robo platform. With regard to a few questions that we have received from the attendees, we'll be taking up the questions. In the meantime, we'd also like to request you to send across your questions in the section. You can see Q&A down on your laptop. Please do type in your questions, and we'll be glad to take up all your questions. So Muskan Bansal is asking, how does IMS handle amended invoices? Is the action previous action on the original invoice automatically reversed, or do we need to track both versions manually?
Yeah, so Muskan, you do not have to do it manually. So whatever actions you are taking on the amended invoices, if the original and amended invoices, persist for the same return period, the action on the amended invoices will prevail as per the government policy. But let's suppose you have an original invoice in April return period and the amended invoices May return period. So the differential ITC, GST Robo will automatically calculate it for you. So if the original invoice was accepted for 100 rupees, now comes the amended invoice for 90 rupees. So the differential amount of 10 rupees will be automatically catered in GSTR 3B table 4 by the GST Robo itself.
Great. I hope Muskan just answers your question. Another question that has come in is, can GST IMS dashboard help track frequent defaulters whose invoices show up in IMS but not in 2B?
Yes, yes, obviously, the filter that I showed you earlier, the GSTR1 filing status. So we have one filter in it, which is the case of not filed. So whatever GSTR1 are not filed by the suppliers, any of the suppliers will give you the status of not filed against each and every supplier for which GSTR1 is pending. So that will be available in IMS, but not in 2B as per the government policy, and will give you the tracking of those vendors and invoices.
Another question by Tanvi Prakash has come in. Is there a mechanism to undo an incorrect rejection? If not, would this not conflict with the principle of substantial compliance over procedural lapses?
Yeah, so rejecting an invoice means if you're doing like if you have made any incorrect rejections before 20th and before filing your GSTR 3B, you can obviously, reverse your action and convert it to accepted or no action as per your choice. But once you file your GSTR 3B and that particular invoice is marked as or left as rejected only, so you'll not be able to reverse that particular action on that invoice. So this is the government procedure that they have provided in the IMS. So it basically depends on the filing of your GSTR 3B. Once GSTR 3B is filed, your IMS gets locked and you'll not be able to reverse your actions.
Another question by an attendee. If ITC is denied due to incorrect action on IMS, so for example, some accidental rejection has happened of the invoice, is there a remediation or redressal mechanism proposed by CBIC or GSTN?
So, as I explained, there are still not any, see, there are two ways to mark any invoices rejection. So basically, if there are any mismatches in the invoices as per the supplier and as per your books of accounts, so by rejecting invoice, supplier can amend those invoices and you can communicate with those vendors so that in the next return period, you can accept such invoice. Or if you are having any incorrect rejections, so once you file your 3P, you do not have that particular invoice in your GST or 2B, and as per the government law, you cannot claim that particular ITC. So then you will face notices if you claim that ITC in the near future, and then you'll have to give the explanations to department, which depends on them whether to accept that reply to that particular notice or not. So there are no formal mechanism as per now, as per the government, but yes, it depends on your 3B itself.
Okay, one question has come in from Venkateshwaram Bala. Is there any inspection by authorities to our company on GST?
So
So
basically it
basically, it
depends on.
depends on the ITC or the tax liability which you have, filed in your GST 3B. So if there are any mismatches between the ITC available in your GST 2B and the ITC which has been claimed by you in GST 3B, or you can say if you have quoted your tax liability less than the liability quoted in R1, so then you can face the notices from the government. Then there can be inspection by the authorities.
On that note, we would like to now conclude our webinar. So first of all, thank you all for to both our panelists, Ajay and Sarthak, for the valuable insights that you were able to share today with all of us, and to everyone in the audience for joining us today. Post today's session, we see that technology platform like GST Robo is obviously there to help you and guide you with regard to the invoice management system of your organization. But then we need to also understand that the success with IMS that we need in the long run as an organization can only be achieved if we have coordinated workflows, internal awareness, as well as a smarter supplier engagement. The three parameters are really crucial for all of us in order to make the IMS system actually successful in the long run. On that note, I would like to conclude today and hope that today's discussion gave you practical ideas that you can take back to your teams and maybe a fresh way to look at IMS. On that note, we would like to conclude today's session. We'll be sharing a post-event summary of our session over the mail with you, with all of you, and we all obviously welcome any follow-up questions that you might be having. You can drop us a mail at marketing@binarysemantics.com. On behalf of our entire team, thank you once again, and we wish you success on your IMS journey.